What I found, we were discussing this yesterday, and I've thought about this numerous times since I've been to California, is that it's not the answer that is primary focus here. It's the question, it's the journey to understanding more about yourself, more about your identity, and that should be the primary focus. And so to encourage you guys to come out, talk about being a Filipino, being an Asian American, being an American, to introduce more conversation, more dialogue about this, I want to share my own experiences with this. So I was born in the Philippines. I was born in this little island called Camotes by Cebu. I'm Bisaya. And I lived there for 8 years. I was the typical Filipino boy you saw in any video of Philippines. I was this little skinny kid with raggedy clothes and shorts with black feet perpetually all the time because I didn't like shoes. I am forced to wear these shoes because my slippers broke. I had my nails had dirt in them. It was always crusted with dirt. I hunted spiders. I rolled tires. I played played that can game. I remember playing that can game that we did in the Asian. I forgot what it's called.
A Pasa Night Market.
Yeah. Tingong Preso. Yeah, I remember these things that define that was so Filipino. To go to school, I had to ride in this little motorcycle stacked with 4 other kids. We could have died. We had no freaking helmets, but that was a Filipino way. That's what we did. That's what I was used to, and I didn't necessarily question my identity. Partly because I was a little kid. I was ignorant of my identity. I didn't even know there was an America. I thought the Philippines was the world, and I was living as a Filipino. I didn't have to think about being an American. And so when I was 8, I moved to Missouri, Independence, Missouri. Very random place to move to. It's where Harry S. Truman lived. Oh, Royals. Boom. Okay. And so I lived there for over a decade. And my mom, I specifically remember my mom telling me to not speak Bisaya at home or at school. She wanted me to completely assimilate to the American culture. And so I don't know how to speak Bisaya, And when I was there in the Philippines, most of my friends were white. I was the token Asian kid. So I was the typical smart little Asian kid that people copied off. That was me. That was me. And I was fine with it. I didn't know any other way. I forgot a lot of what it meant to be Filipino. I was too young to learn a lot about Filipino history, and my parents did not. They had bigger things to worry about. And so I was American, and I didn't view myself as Filipino when I was. I didn't really view myself as Filipino when I was in Missouri. I was American. I was a Midwestern boy, living there. Truman High School represent. And so but then when I moved, I got accepted to USC. I moved to California, and that was when it was an eye opener for me, because I remember my brother accompanied me to move to move into my apartment, and I remember seeing so many brown people. I was me and my brother literally played a game trying to count how many white people we could see, because there was so few of them when we were walking down Figueroa. And so I was like, wow, this is crazy. There's so many Mexicans, Asians. My family was a Filipino family in my high school. so many different colors. Literally. And so, and after that, right now, this is normal. I'm glad this is normal to me now. So many brown people. When I come back home in Missouri in 2 months, I'm gonna be so shocked to see the amount of white people again. But this is when I moved to California, which is recently, is when I started really questioning what it meant to be Filipino and what it meant to be American. Because now I saw, I was removed. I can see myself, my time in the Philippines was when I was Filipino. My time in Missouri was when I was American. And now I'm here. I'm forced to become, not necessarily forced to become Filipino American, but I chose by joining this club to become Filipino American. And so, I still struggle with what is a Filipino, what is an American. But every single day, every time I'm here, becoming the culture and service chair of Troy Phi, I did it because I wanted to learn more about the Filipino history, not necessarily because I thought that being a Filipino was the best. I really was just curious because I didn't know a lot about it. And like what I don't know the answer. I don't think I'll ever know the answer of what it means to be Filipino or what it means to be American or what it means to be Filipino American. But I know that I'm having a greater understanding of this identity, of what it means, to be who I am, and the different parts of who I am, the different flavors. And like, I am choosing consciously now. In the Philippines, I was unconscious about my race, or about being Filipino. In America, in Missouri, I was more unconscious about like becoming American. It was like a way of life. I became American because I needed to. And now here, I'm making a conscious effort of mixing those two things. And like, so I encourage you guys to come out to me and Heidi. Heidi and I are doing these lunch activities. We don't know the times and dates yet, but Jesse, could you put my contact information? We are encouraging all you guys, if you guys want to talk more about this question of identity, question into what it means to be Filipino, please contact me, and we can set a date, set a time. I'm usually free Monday, Wednesdays, or we can even go to the weekends to like Bahay Kubo. We can have like a thing, we can eat their Filipino food, and we can discuss about what it means to be Filipino. How awesome does that sound over Filipino? I'm just saying, join me. Alright, so like, yeah, this is my little spiel for you guys to like do this mini series of what it means to be an Asian Filipino American. Join me.